Good afternoon from Kleinshire. It's the day before garlic delivery today, and we are busily trying to box everything up. How much do we have? Let's find out. Well, we are definitely in progress. We have a lot of garlic boxed, and we're trying to fill as many boxes as we can. You can see this shelf is empty now. I'm currently working on this lower shelf. And yeah, I have a lot of boxes full and more boxes yet to fill. Well, there are the boxes that I'm currently working on. Over here we have a pallet full of boxes, all full of garlic. There are more boxes up here on top of the hay baler. Over here in the packing area, we have some boxes that are not yet full, but working on it. And over here in the corner of the packing area, we have boxes all full and ready to go too. Tomorrow it's all going to be palletized and sent off to our wholesaler in Washington State. So we are working really hard trying to get everything boxed. And well, we're not even done cleaning. Look at this. Here we have a few bushels of garlic yet to be cleaned. 1 bushel, 2 bushels, and a little half bushel, and another full bushel here. But at least here where the garlic is hung, you can see all these empty racks. We've accomplished a lot. There are still 4 racks here, untouched. But obviously we need to save back some for our own planting as well, so I'm not too worried about that. I'm just worried about getting cleaned the garlic you see in the bushels and boxing things up, weighing it, and getting a weight to our wholesaler so he can create the bill of lading and I can get that pallet loaded tomorrow. So as I pull the garlic off the shelf here, I'm eyeballing it because our wholesaler wants the biggest and best bulbs separate. He's looking at bulbs that are 2.5 inches or larger in diameter. He calls them jumbo bulbs. He wants those separate. Now, 2.5 inches, probably something like these ones. But I'm really just eyeballing it. There are plenty of them here. This one is probably closer to 3 inches. Monsters, right? Whereas something like this is probably closer to 2.25 inches. So I'm just eyeballing it. Maybe I ought to use a ruler. Let's take a look. Let's get the tape measure out and see how close I am with having eyeballed it. Here we go. Got my 25-foot tape measure. I don't think I'll need quite that much, but if I take out the first few inches here, let's see. Here's a monster. There we go. Right there. We're looking at, well, something approaching 3 inches. Really beautiful. Whereas something like this, more of a standard seed size, you can see that it's, even this is probably pretty close to 2.5 inches, maybe 2.25, as I was saying. Eyeballing it is pretty good. This one I would have put in the 2.5 inch bulb box, and yeah, definitely about 2 3/4 inches. Not too far off. I've been doing this for a while though, so it's actually not too surprising to me that I can eyeball it and get it about right. I do have a garlic sizer, but it's only good up to 2 1/4 inches, and these German white are just massive, massive bulbs when you deal with the planting garlic. With garlic, you plant the big in order to get big bulbs next year, and then the smaller ones you eat. I've already sorted out the culinary ones, the eating bulbs, under 2 inches basically, and those I've been selling to many people who buy eating garlic from us direct to consumer. This order, our big wholesale order, is going off to Fielery Farms in Washington State. They are probably, I would say, the biggest and most reputable of the certified organic producers of seed garlic. And we're proud and honored actually to be able to service them and to provide some of their German white. Our connection to fielery actually goes back to when we got started with garlic back in 2017. The previous fall, Rosemary flew back from North Carolina where we had our homestead and where I was teaching full time. We planned to purchase the farm the next year from her parents and make the move, but you plant garlic the year before. So Rosemary flew back and took their farmer's market size patch and planted everything. And we had our first wholesale sized batch of garlic to harvest, therefore, in our very first year of farming. It was very exciting. The problem was I didn't have anywhere to sell it. So here I am cold calling different outfits, and who can take on, it was about 500 pounds that first year, who can take on 500 pounds of garlic? Well, not many places without warning, as I found. I should have known better. It happened, though, that fielery had a farm drop out for whatever reason, and they were a producer of German white. So he asked me to send a few bulbs, the owner of the farm, and was favorably impressed by the quality. And ever since, we've been sending our garlic to him, gradually increasing in size every year from about 500 pounds that first year to over 1,300 pounds last year. We're grateful for that relationship. It's been a boon for our farm. We wouldn't have as many culinary sized bulbs to sell direct to consumer if we didn't have an outlet for this much of the premium stuff, which we simply don't have a market for ourselves. It takes sort of a national market to sell 1,300 pounds of seed quality garlic at that premium price. So very grateful for that relationship. Well, and there is another box of 2 to 2.5 inch bulbs full. There are those dandelions. Look at that. It's the garlic bandit. Are you trying to steal the garlic?
No, I want to get rid of it.
So what's the story of the face covering?
So I have seasonal allergies, and I've been doing way too much cleaning of this dusty garlic, and it was starting to give me a headache and causing my allergies to be bad. So if I keep the dust out of my lungs, I'm fine. So that's why I'm the bandit right now.
Very seriously, Rosemary was out of commission this weekend because we had been cleaning garlic in the house, and that really set off her allergies, and she just had a terrible headache. So it was a little stressful as we tried to complete this order that my garlic cleaning machine broke down and needed to rest. But she did, and now she's cleaning garlic again. And I don't know, God's providence, a miracle, just the grit of hard work. I'm not sure, but we're well over 1,000 pounds.
Yeah, we are.
I think in the last video, I had asked the question, are we going to make it to 1,000 pounds? Well, thank God we're well past 1,000 pounds. You'll have to watch to the end of the video, though. I don't know how much it weighs. We'll be weighing these boxes once they're all packed, and then we'll know exactly how much. Stay tuned. I don't think Rosemary is particularly excited about it, but I was texting back and forth with our wholesaler over dinner because we have all that seconds garlic since we harvested a little bit too late. And the fact is that that seconds garlic with its split wrappers isn't premium. It isn't something ordinarily he takes. But he texted and said he thinks he has a buyer, which means we have another 350 pounds or so to pack. I guess we'll know exactly how much once we have it packed. But we're going to work into the night. We're going to get this packed so that our order can go out in the morning. What are you doing, Sabrina?
A secret. I'm just calculating how much money you're going to be making.
Oh boy. Is it a lot?
It's more than I made from my summer job.
Right, so our seconds garlic. The story, if you missed our earlier video, is that I planted on a field with a slope this year, and there were a few places in the field where it was wetter than in other places. When it came time to harvest, I was test pulling and trying to time my harvest correctly. You know, you want as much growth as possible, but you don't want to leave the garlic in the ground so long that a lot of wrappers die back. And there's therefore a delicate balance between leaving it in so long that you end up with wrappers like that and getting the maximum growth you can, and we sell by the pound, right? The problem was the test pulls in the drier area on the edges, the garlic hadn't died back as much, whereas more in the middle where it was wetter, the garlic had died back. And therefore, in a way that we haven't experienced in previous years, we ended up with these seconds bulbs, these bulbs where, as you can see, beautiful big seed garlic, but wrappers that degraded, that do not fully cover the bulb the way that is expected at the premium price. So it was a big deal to hear from our wholesaler that not only could he find a home for 150 pounds, which is what we heard earlier, but whatever we can pack, he's going to take. But it has to go on this pallet that goes out tomorrow, because the only way it makes sense from an economic perspective for him is if it doesn't ship separately and incur that extra shipping charge. He needs to know tonight what the final weight is on our pallet, because only then will he be able to issue the bill of lading, which is based on weight, and therefore we're gonna pack. We're gonna get it all on that pallet tomorrow. Just like me, to put the breathing holes for the garlic right where the tape goes. I'll have to punch some holes there.
Exciting.
What's exciting?
It's the last one. I just ordered. Look at this. That's a huge one too. Like a 3-incher.
Amazing.
Gotta make sure I clean it up here though. Make it look really pretty.
The masked bandit strikes again.
Well done being the masked bandit.
Expose her identity. Expose her identity. Ha 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 ha. It's so dark that I don't think you can see much actually. We need better lighting in the pole barn.
Yes, we do. Here. You can take one.
Are you excited to have cleaned so much garlic?
Yeah, I think so. I think my fingers will be happy now too that we're done with the crazy. All right, Look at that one last beautiful bulb.
There
It's so
we go.
big.
Wow. Good work.
Done.
Done, but not done, because now I need to finish sorting and pack. But we're gonna pray the rosary first, right?
Yep.
Get the kids in bed, and then we'll see what's still to do tonight. It's getting late. I'm still packing. An interesting development. I have so many boxes of garlic packed now with packing the seconds that I've run out of the boxes that I ordered in order to pack, and I'm reduced to using these produce boxes. They'll work in a pinch. They're not ideal because this is going to be palletized, and the industry of shipping is wonderful. They do great work, but they move very quickly, and sometimes they're awfully rough with pallets, and therefore those thick corrugated cardboard boxes are really the ideal. But I'm out. I've got to pack. I've got these produce boxes, so it's time to start filling what I have with garlic, at least a seconds garlic. And therefore I'm not quite as concerned about it as the premium bulb stuff that we get top price for. I'll put it on top of the pallet too. While I fill this box, I wanted to give a shout out to our other wholesaler, our more local wholesaler. This is going to Fielery on the West Coast, but we're also honored to work with a more local group, a more local company, Keene Garlic out of Madison, Wisconsin. Although Keene couldn't take us on in that first year when I surprised them with the cold call, hey, I have 500 pounds of German white, they did take some of our culinary garlic that year as we looked for an outlet for that, and we built a relationship. And ultimately, there was a retiring grower who grew for Keene that had a variety called Persian Star. And we were entrusted with that variety because he was retiring. I got the last of his seed stock and we planted it. And over the last few years, that garlic has adapted, I should say, to our soil, which is heavier clay than the soil where it was grown, and is producing really nice bulbs. This year, we've already sent off nearly 300 pounds of the Persian Star to our other wholesaler, and we're honored to work with them as well. It's good for our bottom line as a farm to sell direct to consumer as much as we're able, because obviously that cuts out the middleman. But the fact is, when you're growing this much, it's helpful to work with somebody bigger, and therefore we're grateful for these relationships. And it's also strategically, as much as we love both of our wholesalers, we're looking out for ourselves as a farm, and therefore, it's good to work with not just one wholesaler, but two, just from a strategic perspective. So we're glad to cultivate that relationship, selling not only to our Wisconsin wholesaler, but to our farther afield wholesaler in Washington State as well. We're trying to do everything, I guess, in a sense. We're selling direct to consumer to you when we're able, but we're also very happy to work with these great companies. By the way, buy from the farmer when you can, where you have that relationship and you know how they grow their garlic or anything else that you're buying. It's a wonderful thing to buy directly from the farmer. But if you don't have that relationship with the farmer, as much as seed companies are wonderful for filling the gap, buy from somebody who specializes. And that's why I give a shout out to our wholesalers. They're not a seed company. They specialize specifically in garlic, or sometimes in garlic and root crops. I think Fielery has expanded into sweet potatoes and tubers and various things. They are the experts. Fielery is nationwide, and they have such a great reputation. And here in the Midwest, you know, when I'm in the Facebook garlic groups, people speak very highly of Keene garlic. And it's for a reason. Garlic isn't just one thing they do, you know, sourcing seed from somebody. It is what they do. It's what they're about. And thinking specifically to our relationship with Keene, they expect rigorous testing. They test all their garlic for garlic bloat and nematode, and they just have such high standards that they hold us to as a farmer. It gets annoying at times, but gosh, we turn in a good product because of it. Buy from people who specialize. They love what they're doing. They have high standards, and I want to give a shout out to our wholesalers who do a great job, and we're so grateful to work with them. I'd better get back to work. There's more to pack and to weigh here. Just maybe a pound lighter. Yep, there it balances. Right there. These get heavy after a while. This one's a little lighter.
Can't see.
Even lighter than that. It's because it's big bulbs, more airspace in there. We'll say that it's there. It could be maybe a pound more. But there we go. So what would that be? 38 to 32 would make this one a 44 pounder. Another 44 pounds. We're getting there. It's getting late. How many pounds do we have?
We are checking.
This time of night, the calculator comes out. A lot of boxes, that's for sure.
Do it in increments, 458.
Sort of a spooky light. Just trying to make it visible. So I just double checked Rosemary's math. Remarkably, I did it by hand. She did it by calculator. Math is not my strong suit, so that's really funny, actually. But we arrived at the same number on the first try. So guess what? 1,651 pounds of garlic.
So long as we're both right.
Well, hopefully we have it right enough that our
Midnight.
wholesaler can order the bill of lading and we can deliver it tomorrow. That's it for tonight.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to bed.
It's morning.
Oh, it's morning already.
I think
That's
it's
wonderful.
the morning. Yeah, it's 12:06.
We're sort of silly. Well, we're going to be back at it tomorrow morning because all of this has to be loaded on the truck, delivered, palletized, and sent off. Good night.
Shy of 40.
Oh, it's very good. There's the garlic loaded up. Rosemary actually loaded it all. I was in class. That's just for show. But I get to deliver now. We're awake. We're a little tired today. I have my bill of lading, and it's time for me to go to the facility and palletize this. All right, love you. And there it is, all packed up. I added a ratchet strap, pyramid shape, so it's less likely to topple. I asked the folks in there, they say it's better packed than many that make it through their facility and they're not worried about it. So just say a prayer that everybody treats it with respect. There it goes. Look at that, it's going right on the truck. It's so awesome. Got my tracking number, I should be able to follow. So, it was a big project. It's a huge thing for us here at the farm. We're gonna be following that tracking. It'll take about a week. Pray that it makes it there safely to Fielery and serves them well, sells well, and fosters the good relationship we have with them. That's Kleinshire garlic, wholesale style. There's still plenty of direct-to-consumer garlic. Kleinshire.com if you want to order eating garlic from us. We still have plenty available. Be in touch. Subscribe, follow along, and God bless.